headquarters of Ramsey Solutions. It's the Ramsey Show, where debt is dumb, cash is king, and the paid-off home mortgage has taken the place of the BMW as the status symbol of choice. We help people build wealth, do work they love, and create actual amazing relationships. You jump in. We'll help you with your life and your money. Dr. John Deloney, #1 best-selling author and host of the wildly popular Ramsey Network production of the Dr. John Deloney Show, where he talks about all kinds of mental wellness issues, is my co-host today. You jump in. We'll talk about your life and your money. 888-825-5225. Charles is going to start off this hour in Portland, Oregon. Hey, Charles, how are you?
Hi, I'm Dave. I'm fine. The kind of question I have is a little bit unusual in that last year my wife passed away.
I'm sorry.
And we were doing the baby steps, but that kind of came to a stop because without her income, my only income is Social Security, and I'm trying to figure out a way to keep our house from going into foreclosure.
Wow. I'm sorry. How long were you guys married?
18 years.
Wow. How old are you?
64.
How old was she?
She passed away. She was just turned 50.
Whoa. What happened?
We were on our way home from a dinner date, and I had met her after work, so we were in separate cars, and I exited the freeway where I live, and she was about 2 minutes behind me, and she got caught in a landslide.
Whoa.
No way.
Wow. That's wild. Man, I'm sorry. What a deal.
Yeah. And I'm actually in Nashville right now. I took a picture with you yesterday.
Oh, okay. Okay.
My daughter's the one going to college here.
Oh, yeah. I remember talking to you. Yeah.
Man, I'm sorry.
Yeah, talking about Dad's checking into Belmont. Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you owe on the house?
Right at $320.
And what's the payment?
Just about $2,000.
Okay. And what is your Social Security?
Social Security is about $1,600.
Okay. And how are you behind on the house?
No, we're up to date right now.
How?
I've been using money from savings that I got from the life insurance to keep the house payment up.
Got it. How much was the life insurance?
Well, it got split three ways because we had me and the kids were all on it. So the life insurance company gave 35 to each of the kids and 30 to me of the percentage.
Mm-hmm.
So I ended up with about $170,000. But when she passed away, to get all the bills squared away and to get us out of debt, I had to pay off my car and my daughter's car. So I spent about $100,000 getting us debt free, except for the house.
Your daughter's using her money to go to Belmont.
What's that?
Your daughter's using her money to go to Belmont.
Well, yes and no. She got a bunch of scholarships. She had good grades. She got scholarships and stuff. And so our total bill for Belmont was just over $3,000.
Oh, nothing. Okay,
fantastic.
Good. That's wonderful. What's the house worth? What's it worth?
According to online, it would be worth probably a little over $5, but the online description of it is incorrect. They have it as a 3-bedroom, and it's really a 4-bedroom.
Yeah, so somewhat,
And
but it's you got a few $100,000 equity anyway.
Yeah.
Okay.
What is it about staying in this home that's important to you?
Well, it's the only house the kids have ever known. But if I were to sell it, housing in the Portland area, I would not be able to get into another house at the payment I'm making.
And what I'm asking you is, you're on Social Security now, so that tells me that you're untethered. What is it about Portland?
Well,
what I hear a guy who's got a hole in the boat, and he's determined to stay in the bay that he's in, even if that means the whole thing sinks.
Yeah, well, I still have my son who's in high school.
Great. Your son's going to want to stay in a home.
Right.
So let's first establish this, okay? I've been talking to you for a few minutes. You've been through a horrible tragedy, and it breaks your heart, and it clouds and fogs your mind. if you're a normal human, and you're a normal human, but you're a smart guy. So let's first establish, A, there's not going to be a foreclosure. That's not going to happen because you would sell the house before you would lose all of that equity, unless you're a fool, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
well,
so you're either going to get your income going and pay the bill, or you're going to sell it.
Right.
But there's not going to be a foreclosure. You're going to sell it to avoid a foreclosure because you can't afford it. Now, I'm 62, you're 64. I work every day. Why don't you?
I've been on, I had 2 bouts with cancer, and I still have ongoing medical issues with that.
Okay.
That's why I had to take an early retirement from where I was working.
What were you doing?
Airlines.
What at the airline?
For the airline. What's that?
You were a pilot?
No, aircraft mechanic.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to start asking myself, if I'm you, what I can do with my medical limitations to create $5,000 a month. And if I can't find that, then you need to sell your house.
Yeah, I was looking into that.
Yeah.
But in the area if I sell the house, the apartment rents are higher than what my mortgage payment is.
You're going to lose the house if you don't pay the payment or sell it.
Right.
So there's no magic wand that gets you out of this because rents are high in Portland, Oregon. So you are either going to create $5,000 worth of income to be able to pay the bill on a $2,000 house payment, and you can do. I'm not panicking, but you've got to start thinking that this is a math problem, and I've got to take action. What happens too many times when someone's gone through a tragedy like you've gone through, and then they get pinched in a situation like this, a lot of people tend to get paralysis and do nothing, and then they wait until it's too late and they do lose the house. So I'm telling you, you need to actively, proactively decide in the middle of your grief, which is very hard to do, in the middle of your broken heart, which is very hard to do, what the next chapter of your career looks like, and therefore your housing. And so you've got to go make some money. Now, you don't have to go to work for somebody 9 to 5 in corporate America. Maybe you can't do that. Maybe there's a side hustle. Maybe there's a thing you do from home from the computer. I don't know what that thing is. I will send you Ken Coleman's book, From Paycheck to Purpose, to help you get through that. But it's a simple procedure, Charles. As badly as I hurt with you, I'm also not going to participate in watching the boat sink. So either fix the boat or sell the boat. Don't sink the boat.
And it's important to remember, your wife is no longer in that boat. She's gone. And I think, Dave, it's time to let the house go, man.
You think it's better to let it go?
Yeah.
Okay. This is The Ramsey Show.
Still on baby step number 1, eh?
How'd you guess?
With healthcare costs rising, learn how Christian Healthcare Ministries can help you make the most out of your budget. Visit chministries.org/budget.
Don't worry, it's worth it.
Open phones at 888-825-5225. Number one best-selling author, Ramsey personality, Dr. John Deloney is my co-host today. Open phones here. I'm hitting the wrong buttons. Let's see if I can get the right one. There it is. Brian's with us in Dayton. Hey, Brian, how are you?
I'm doing great. How are you guys?
Better than we deserve. What's up?
I've got a real estate question for you that I've never encountered before. My wife and I purchased the property in January for $73,000 just as an investment property. We paid cash for the property. And then on August 9th, I got a letter from the state saying that they had put a $207,000 lien on the property for Medicaid recovery because the previous owner had been on Medicaid. And I didn't know if you'd ever encountered anything like that or had any advice on how to deal with that.
Did you buy title insurance?
We do have title insurance, and I did file a claim last week. They assigned a lawyer to it, but they haven't really gotten back to me. So I didn't know if
was the lien filed by the state prior to the closing of the property?
No, the lien was filed on March 10th, so 2 months after we purchased it.
Well,
and
again, you got in touch with the title company, but I don't think the state has the power to retroactively lien something. I mean, why can they not put a lien on your property 15 years later? It's here's the thing.
So
who owned the house at the time the lien was placed? The guy that they're placing the lien on didn't own the house anymore. So the only thing the state can do is try to find the $70,000 he got from the sale of the property. The state has no right to place a lien on your property.
Well, that's exactly what I thought. But then I called the attorney who sent the letter, and he said the state has a year to file the lien. And I said, well, but, the estate doesn't even own the property anymore, so how can they file a lien on me? So I guess that's kind of where we're at.
Yeah, they can't go back and get stuff that the guy used to have.
Yeah.
Right.
I've never heard of this.
I emailed the Attorney General's office. They said they'd look into it. I emailed my state representatives. I contacted everyone.
I don't think you're number one. If there is a legitimate lien that can be done, and I don't think it is. Okay, I bought 2,000 pieces of real estate. I bought stuff, and then the title turned up bad. I bought a house one time, and the title company neglected to figure out that there was a brother with the two sisters that were selling it. And it was an estate.
Right.
And the brother didn't sign off because they didn't bother to figure that out. And so the title company ended up writing the brother a check in order for him to sign a release because old Dave already owned the property. And so I'm a huge believer in title insurance for that reason. I'm really thankful you've got it. But I think the answer is your title insurance company is going to solve this. If the lien is legitimate, I don't think it is because it comes after the deed is filed. Okay?
Right.
You can't just file crap after the deed is filed. You can only file it prior to. If they filed it prior to, that's fine. But, no, I think the lawyer's smoking crack. But I may be wrong. I mean, it would out of all the real estate deals I've done, and I've been doing real estate deals for 40 years, I've never heard of a deal like this that would stay put. So prior to, and the title company missed it, well, title company's getting ready to write a check. Okay?
Right.
And but this is not prior to. I don't think this lawyer's got a case. I think the state's screwed up.
Okay.
But if he does, the title company is your best bet to handle it. Really not the Attorney General, and really not. I mean, the Attorney General works for the state. Works for the same people.
Well, they're the ones that filed the lien.
I know, it's the same people.
Very unethical.
Yeah, it's the same people.
Right.
Yeah. So
Right.
I'm going to guess and say this is not as much unethical as it is just incompetent.
Yeah, this is an accident, sounds like.
And then the lawyer he thought he'd see if he could push you around a little bit, see if he could get the money. But I don't think so.
That's like coming out 3 cars later, like, hey, this guy who bought this Cadillac 7 years ago, he owes us some money, so you need to give us that car. Let's can't do that.
Well, you can do that in the case of theft.
If you stole it, that's right.
If it was stolen and fenced.
Or like buying stuff at a pawn shop. Somebody can come back and...
If you bought it from a fence, if you bought stolen items, you'll lose that item. Yep. That's true. But in real estate, the ownership is established and the title, the cleanliness of the title is established at one place and one place only, and that is in the Register of Deeds at the courthouse. That's true in every state in the United States. And so in real estate law, they taught us as I got a degree in real estate, it's called a race to the courthouse. Whoever files first does.
Wins.
So let's say you and I both have a deed to a piece of property in our hand. The one that files it first is the owner.
I'm letting the air out of your tires, man.
There it is. So there's no such thing as that happening. But, I mean, the concept being, if you have a lien and you don't get it filed before the property is sold,
that's a you problem.
You've got to try to take action against the former owner and get money out of his bank account that he got from the sale, which is the state's position here.
And the lien was technically your collateral, and you missed it, right?
Yeah. You know, and so now in the event of a foreclosure, they can go back on the rights of redemption. There is that, but not after a straight arm's length transaction sale. You just can't willy-nilly walk along and just start plopping stuff down on other people's property. It just that just doesn't make sense. So I may be getting ready to learn something. I may get a letter from the state of wherever he was telling me I'm wrong, Ohio, but I don't think I will. We'll see. And you know, if you have a situation like this, he did the exact right thing. He went to the title company. One more time, never buy a house or any piece of property ever without title insurance. Right. For 99% of you that are not professional contractors, don't buy a house without a home inspection. If you are buying a piece of property other than a standard cookie-cutter subdivision lot, if it is a, quote, piece of ground, always get a survey, because neighbors have funny memories about surveys and about right-of-ways and about all these other things. And so you need to actually know what it is you're getting. And sometimes a survey is costly on a piece of ground, a piece of rural property, because, you know, it's from the old oak tree to the pile of rocks in the corner.
Literally, my neighbor told me, your place starts over at that rock under the tree. That's a verbatim quote.
Yep.
That's right.
Yeah, that's
he's accurate, but that was the quote.
You know, I've sold enough farm property in Tennessee and Tennessee's very irregular property lines, not like the Midwest where you got squares and townships and everything's in a perfect little square and you can figure it out. But not in Tennessee. It may follow the creek and it might not follow the creek. So you just don't know. You really need to get a survey, and so or the crick, as the case may be. But So real estate is a fun business, but always take the time to get your documentation. I sure hope the guy hadn't lost $70,000, but I don't think he has. Hope he doesn't lose a penny in legal fees here. Wow, that's pretty ballsy right there, but we'll see.
I've got bigger concerns if the state government can just write me a letter that says, "Hey, the guy before you had some problems. We're going to take that. The
IRS. I mean, you would think the IRS would pull something like that. Yeah. But they don't place a lien after the fact. Now, if they place a lien prior to, they just put nails in the coffin of the guy. He's stuck, right? But, man, because the IRS, dealing with the KGB is a trip. But, that's an interesting story right there. Very interesting. Hey, every time you hear someone do their debt-free scream, it's because at some point they said, I've had enough. I'm not living like this. I've had it. And when you get mad like that, and you do what they did, your life will change. Right now, inflation, stupid credit card bills, waiting on Washington to fix your life by forgiving your student loans, not going to happen. He's going to announce this week that student loans are going to be forgiven. You need to read the fine print. He doesn't have the power to. He's not really going to do it. He's going to do something that sounds like he did it so that he can get some help into the midterms for his buddies. That's all that's coming. You have to take the course that gives the step-by-step plan that helps you get out of debt and be able to build wealth. It's called Financial Peace University. Nearly 10 million people have beat debt using this. They've learned how to budget, have learned how to become outrageously generous, and become wealthy. Guys, stop letting your debt and money stress control your life. Say enough. Go to RamseySolutions.com/enough, and we'll get you into Financial Peace University, help get this stuff going. RamseySolutions.com/enough. If you're looking for ways to update your home without blowing the budget, I've got it. For years, I've been telling you about our friends at Blinds.com. Blinds.com makes it simple to shop top quality blinds, shades, and interior shutters from home with easy online ordering and free shipping. With Blinds.com, there's no need to renovate your entire home. Just change out what's on your windows with upscale choices like faux wood blinds, cellular, and roller shades shades, or even outdoor shades. Plus, Blinds.com guarantees the perfect fit, whether you do it yourself or you have them measure and install everything for you. Shop their latest looks and see how much you can save at Blinds.com today. The easy and affordable way to make your home more beautiful is Blinds.com. Dr. John Deloney, Ramsey personality, #1 best-selling author, is my co-host today in the lobby of Ramsey Solutions on the debt-free stage. Patrick and Beth are with us. Hey, guys, how are you?
Hey, Hi. Dave.
Welcome. Where do you live?
Midland, Michigan.
Oh, yeah, fun. Welcome to Nashville. And here to do a debt-free scream. How much did you pay off?
$245,000.
Yay. And how long did this take?
2 years.
Good for you. Boom, knocking it out. And your range of income during that time?
$190,000 to $250,000.
Nice jump in 2 years. What do you guys do for a living?
We are in medical sales.
Both of you?
Both of us.
Okay.
Yep.
So what do you attribute the $60,000 increase in pay? Y'all just sold a whole bunch of more medical?
He sells medical plexiglass.
Yeah, exactly. So the bulk of it was really that Beth changed jobs.
Oh.
So she went to a different position. Yep.
Ah, that's much more lucrative then.
That's exactly right.
Yeah, well to go. Good for you guys. Fun, fun, fun. Excellent. Proud of you. Oh, so what kind of debt is this $245,000?
This was our house, Dave.
Whoa! Yeah. Weirdos.
Yes.
Couple of weirdos with us. I love it. All right, weirdos. How old are you?
I'm 37.
And I will be 40 next month. That was our main goal, to do it before I turn 40.
And you did?
Yes.
We did.
Okay, so what's this house worth?
So we actually just talked to one of your ELPs, and it's between $550 and $600.
Okay, and how much in your retirement accounts?
Between $600 and $650.
So you are baby steps millionaires.
We are there.
We are.
Yep. Easy and then some before you're 40.
Correct.
I love you guys. You're amazing. Okay, how much of this is due to you stealing the money?
Zero.
None. Okay, because everybody knows that rich people are crooks, right?
Yeah.
And you don't look like crooks to me. So, wow, you guys, congratulations.
Thank you.
Man.
Thank you.
I'm kind of speechless because you're not even 40 yet. And you're millionaires. And I just keep looking at these three little kids. And when you said we're millionaires, they smiled, which means y'all have had this conversation.
Yes, we have.
I'm just watching a legacy change right in front of me. It's beautiful. What was the hardest part about this journey?
For me, it was really just trying to stay motivated through that 2 years. And so being the mortgage, it was, we'd go to the bank once a month and make a big payment. And I'm kind of a rip the Band-Aid off kind of guy. So I wanted to make that next payment and that next payment. So just waiting that 30 days to make that next payment was really tough for me. So actually what I did was started making payments every two weeks. That way I could kind of get that, that high of making that payment and then just wait another 2 weeks rather than having to wait an entire month.
This guy got a dopamine hit making payments.
I hated that bank so much.
I'm telling you, that's a good bank to hate right there. Well done.
What was your favorite, in retrospect now, what was your favorite disagreement over the last few years? Because, $250,000 y'all paid off. Y'all could have done a lot of fun stuff with that money.
We could have, but it was definitely worth it. I've got a great wife, and probably one of the biggest disagreements is I guess she wanted to get her hair done.
Yeah.
And I'm such a cheapo that it was always.
Oh, you don't have any hair.
You don't have any.
No, her.
I did.
I know.
Getting
So
your hair done
I
often
don't
is
get
very
a say
expensive.
in my wife's hair. I don't have any.
I think, he's right. I would say that, yep. It was, those little things. We were huge in budgeting. We weren't previously, where it was, we did we kept track of where our money went at the end of the month, but eventually we told our money where to go, and that was huge.
Yeah. How'd you get connected up with the Ramsey Way, this whole process with us?
Yeah, so actually, I was introduced to you about 13, 14 years ago when I started dating this girl that was reading the Total Money Makeover.
Oh.
And she was working on getting some credit card debt out of the way. And I just, at that point in my life, I wasn't ready to follow someone else's plans because I thought I was just too smart. And so fast forward, I convinced that girl to marry me. And then we lived the next 9 years of marriage just being normal. And then one day I was driving down the road, and one of my coworkers, she said, you know, maybe you should find a podcast to listen to, because I was sick of listening to the same songs over and over. And so at that point in time, I was looking at how do I start a zero down real estate portfolio. And so I typed into the podcast, financial podcast, and up came the Dave Ramsey Show. So I thought, hey, I remember this guy. So I downloaded the podcast, and the first show that I listened to was a Dave Rant. And you were talking about be a victim in your story. And that really hit home with me. And then you started talking about leaving a legacy and changing your family tree. And that's really where something just snapped inside of me. And so I actually went home, and I had about $20,000 in student loan debt at that time. We had a big savings account because we thought that's what safety was. And so I told Beth, we're going to pay off this student loan debt. And we sat down that night at the computer, paid it off.
She's like, who are you and what have you done with my husband?
She was just waiting for me.
Man, I've heard of women playing a long game. That was well played. That's a long time.
She knew it was in there.
Yeah.
So,
wow.
Yeah, I've had your book since 2009. Took us a while, but we got there.
And so then once we paid the student loan debt off, it was like, that was too easy. So what was next was the mortgage. And I knew that in order to really make that change behaviorally, I had to have some kind of sacrifice. So that's where I got the idea of, you know what, let's just tackle this mortgage. And it started off as a 5-year plan, and then quickly became, you know, a 2-year journey. So,
boom. You got addicted to the making payments.
That's
thing.
exactly right.
Wow.
Yeah.
That progress, okay, it'll hook you.
Yeah. And especially our kids. So our kids were huge motivation for us. I can remember, so my daughter, she would help color in the bricks on the chart that we were using. And early on in the process, I had just made like a $4,000 or $5,000 payment at the bank. So I was walking pretty high. And I came home, and Madison, she colored in a couple of bricks, and then she looked at me and she said, Dad, we've got to do more.
Love it, Madison. Jack them up. I love it. All right. How's it feel to be completely free?
I don't think it's fully set in, but it's incredible. I mean, it's just waking up every morning knowing that, you know, no matter what happens, a pandemic, whatever, nobody's taking our house.
Amen. Amen.
Congratulations, guys.
Changes everything. So proud of y'all.
Thank you.
You are amazing. All right, bring the kiddos up and let's introduce them. We've got a copy of Baby Steps Millionaires for you. How ordinary people build extraordinary wealth. How you can too. These guys did it. They're 40 years old. We're going to give you another copy of it, or give you a copy of it. You should be in there. And a Financial Peace University membership for a year. You're welcome to give any of this away if you want. And get somebody else's journey started, and also a Total Money Makeover book totally for you to give away because you've already got one. So that's
you, Dave.
amazing.
Thanks,
So, all right,
Dave.
what are the kids' names and ages?
So this is Madison, she's 9. This is, which one are you? This is Henry, he's 6, and this is Hugh, and he is 6 as well.
Oh, a couple twins.
Couple of twins.
That's why we got to look, see who they are. And Madison is the lady with the bricks. She's like,
Yes.
Dad, we got to do more.
Way to go,
Yep.
Madison.
Way to go, Madison. You're amazing. Very cool. Hey, you guys changed your family tree. I'm so proud of you. It's a
Thank
complete,
you.
we're looking at the picture of a legacy right in front of us. Not even 40 years old.
Yep.
So very powerful. Well done. Patrick and Beth, Madison, Henry, and Hugh. $245,000 paid off. House and everything. In the process, becoming Baby Steps millionaires. They did it in 2 years, making $190 to $250. Count it down. Let's hear a debt-free scream.
Ready, guys?
3, 2, 1.
We're debt-free! That is so fabulous. Oh, man.
Dave, we have to have this talk real quick. What are we supposed to say about getting our wives getting their hair done?
Nothing.
Nothing.
But but here's the thing. The spouse that is on board is going to always control and be reasonable about any expenses.
Right.
And so if I've got an expense, it wouldn't be hair with me, obviously. It'd be something else that's associated. Then I'm going to limit that because we have a goal.
That's right.
So I'm going to limit, if I'm the lady, the hair, the nails and stuff, to a reasonable level, maybe scale back from normal to be able to hit the bigger goal. It's part of the spirit of the process of doing this together. But yeah, I don't get to go in and say, you don't know. I don't have that option. This is The Ramsey Show. Dr. John Deloney, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Our question today comes from Blinds.com. They have a 100% satisfaction guarantee. That means even if you mismeasure or you pick the wrong color, they'll remake your blinds for free. You get free samples, free shipping, and with the new promos they run every month, you'll save even more. Use the promo code Ramsey to get the best possible deal.
Today's question comes from Brian in Texas. Brian asks, I'm 27 years old with a bachelor's degree in accounting and $40,000 in debt, $28K in student loans and $13,000 in credit cards. I have a full-time job making $41,000 a year and live at home. They, I'm assuming it's his parents, want me to stay with him as long as possible because they are enablers. I want to move out and I asked them to set a deadline for when I have to move. Okay. They are giving me until February of 2023.
This is so backward.
I don't have any money saved because I've been throwing it all at the debt. Is it wise to stay with my parents till I'm debt-free or save up and move out while continuing to pay off debt? Yeah, there's a lot of things happening backwards here. Yeah, I would say
usually parents throw the kids out. The kids don't ask the parents to throw them out. That's a little backward, yeah.
Well, it's like mom and dad are saying, we want you to stay with us forever. And then he says, no, give me a date when I have to be gone. And they're like, okay, a year. And he's like, yeah. I get it, dude. Brian, listen, if you were here with us, we'd all be laughing, and you know that. We'd be laughing. Here's the thing. Save up some money and get an apartment.
Yeah.
Or,
yeah.
I mean, yeah. Give out.
And I don't know why you only make $41,000 a year with a degree in accounting.
Yes.
Your job sucks. You need to go get King Coleman's book and look for a better job. Also, that's horrid. Yeah. No, you do not need to stay there until you're debt free. That is not a guideline. Yes, it would be mathematically more efficient. I will tell you from personal experience, Brian, that I observed each of my children after college either setting up house on their own, so to speak, or one of them actually moved and lived with us for about 3 months and then with a game plan to move out very quickly. But in every case when they moved out and had to buy their own milk, had to pay their own light bill or the electricity got cut off, had to buy groceries or there was nothing in the refrigerator, had to do laundry or there was no clean underwear. In every case when they had to do those basic menial adult tasks, I visibly watched them change in that first year they were out. Mm-hmm. And they were already mature, hardworking, good people, but I watched their emotional development accelerate when they left the nest. And some more obvious than others in different situations, but it was palatable that no more checks coming from me and no more laundry done by your mom. And when they had to pick up that and run with it, it changed everything. So, yeah, I always recommend as quickly as a young person can reasonably get out on their own, even though it does not appear to be mathematically the correct thing to do. It generally ends up being mathematically the correct thing to do because it accelerates you. And you are what creates your income. So you probably, even though you might not associate it with the activity of having moved out, it changes how you walk, it changes your swagger, your body language, and so you go get money more often.
Right.
And because you turn out to need money out here in the world. And so it's just good, and it's good for you. I would tell you, I would highly recommend you do that. Not in a panic, not in a freak out. I mean, if you want to, but I wouldn't wait until February. And I certainly wouldn't wait till you're out of debt.
I'm proud of him for recognizing, wait a minute, I'm being enabled. My immaturity is, I'm, it took him till he's 27, for goodness sakes, but hey, you figured it out. Move out and let's get this thing going. Yeah. Some people are 35, 45, 55, and they haven't figured out yet that.
Well, they're like characters in a movie, though. I mean, that's just ridiculous. Yeah.
Or callers on my show.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, listen, an eagle that does not leave the nest eventually is called a turkey.
Right.
So you need to.
Or the way I describe it is, if you are constantly going into the weight room and helping your kids lift the weight, they're never going to develop their own muscles, and eventually you're helping them out causes them.
It is the extension of the helicopter mom.
That's right.
Helicopter parent syndrome.
Yep.
To just keep them in the basement forever. Like, oh well, okay, yeah. Ashley's in Denver. Hey, Ashley, what's up?
Hi, thank you for taking my call.
Sure. How can I help?
Sorry, I apologize. I'm a little nervous.
That's okay. We've never lost a patient. What's up?
I had a quick question, or a couple questions in regards to my student loans. I recently received notification that they have been approved to be forgiven through a class action lawsuit. And through the research that I've done, I can't quite determine if this is taxable income or non-taxable income.
They're forgiven because it sounds like it was a private school and it went broke.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's the lawsuit currently going on through the Department of Education. Yeah.
Yeah. And there's been a couple of big ones come down lately, and you're probably in that. Yeah. So that is one of the instances the student loan forgiveness is real and does happen. So I'm guessing that probably a very, very likely case that your student loans will be forgiven. Now, normally debt that is forgiven is taxable income. For instance, if you owe MasterCard $4,000 and you don't pay them and they send you a letter saying, you owe them $5,000, they send you a letter saying for $50 we'll forgive this, you send them $50, then you get a tax bill for the difference. You get a 1099 receipt for the difference on taxable income. I do not know on student loan forgiveness due to fraud by the, which is what this case is, by the institution, if that is a taxable event or not. That may be nuanced under the law, and it may be a type of debt forgiveness that is not taxable. But otherwise, debt forgiveness is taxable, by and large. I mean, so what I would do if I were in your shoes, because I don't know the answer to your question, I'm sorry, is I would go to RamseySolutions.com, click on ELP for taxes, get a tax professional that we recommend, and they can look up the regulation on this particular thing, this nuanced part of the law, and see if there's anything that goes with that. It wouldn't surprise me if it's not taxable. It really shouldn't be. It makes sense. It's logical that other types of debt forgiveness are taxable because that's money that you owe. In this case, they're saying you really don't owe it because you weren't really given anything by this horrible, incompetent institution that went broke.
Tell me about this. I didn't know this. So if I owed $50,000, somebody pays off that debt, the government registers that gap as income?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Even if it goes directly
not
to the
student loan debt.
Right, but even if it goes directly to the lender and not through me?
Yeah, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who. No, I mean, if they forgive the debt, like it usually comes up if you're negotiating a balance on an old bad debt.
Okay.
Like you owe them $10,000 from 5 years ago on a MasterCard. And you call up Citibank and you argue with them and they go, well, we'll take $2,000 as settlement.
But I pay taxes on that 8?
Yep.
Wow, I didn't know that. Okay.
Yep. They're going to send a 1099 out on that. They're supposed to.
Because they're writing it off.
Because it's a business loss for them and it's a gain for you.
Right.
Because money you legitimately owed, but because it was bad debt, they decided to take less for it.
I did not know
so you
that.
did gain from that. But the theory in the student loan forgiveness is that these jackleg weird private school things, would go semi-scam type thing.
They were predatory, yeah.
Yeah, they're predatory. They would get people into debt, and then the education or the certifications that they gave them weren't worth anything.
Right.
And would go broke, and so really you haven't gained.
It's about making you whole, yeah.
Yeah, they're just making you whole here. So it's a different theory anyway, but whether or not they're going to tax that, I don't know. You have to check your tax person. Not very good at some of those things. This is The Ramsey Show. Dave here. You can find all of our shows with the Ramsey Network app on your smartphone. It's the only place to listen to the entire back catalog of episodes. Download the Ramsey Network app in your favorite app store today. Headquarters of Ramsey Solutions. It's the Ramsey Show, where Dad is dumb, cash is king, and the paid-off home mortgage has taken the place of the BMW as the status symbol of choice. We help people build wealth, do work that they love, and create actual amazing relationships. Dr. John Deloney, Ramsey personality, #1 best-selling author, and host of the wildly popular Dr. John Deloney podcast on the Ramsey Networks, is my co-host today. Thank you for joining us, America. Mike is in Orange County, California. Hey, Mike, how are you?
Hi, Dave. Hi, Dr. D. I hope you guys are sitting down because this is probably going to make your head hurt.
Bring it. Challenge accepted.
Let's start the hour out with that.
Hold our beers, Mike. Let's do this.
Brief background. I'm a twin. I was adopted at birth to a wonderful family. About 20 years ago, I researched my birth family and made connections. My twin had no interest at all in connecting with the family. I've developed a relationship with the existing family, which was my birth mother, a half-brother, and a birth uncle. My birth mother and uncle have been vacant from the family since I joined the family. My uncle passed away a week ago, and I just learned that I was the executor of my wife and I are the executor of his trust, and he left us his condo, which is old. It's going to need some work, but we're navigating, one, financially, do we keep the condo, rent it, or do we sell it? How much work do we put into it? And secondly, I'm already getting calls from my birth mother and half-brother claiming that they're entitled to the property, and my half-brother already said that I need to fire sale it and send him $100,000 immediately. My uncle's wishes, he clearly communicated to me in his caretaker that he didn't want them having anything, to the point where I asked him about a antique picture, and he said if Arlene takes it, she would only sell the frame. So he feels strongly that they had both stolen from him over the years. So I'm trying to navigate the relational.
But that's his sister and his nephew.
Correct.
Okay. And he didn't have a sibling or children.
He was never married, no children.
Okay. And did he have a written will?
He's got a written will and a trust, leaving me as the executor of the trust and leaving my wife and I everything except for his car and a small savings account that he wants to go to his caretaker.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm so sorry. What a pinch to put you in after all the weirdness of this whole thing. So how is your relationship before all this happened with your half-brother and your birth mom?
Intermittent. She had violated a number of boundaries that we had set. Just to give you a feel for it.
So she has her own issues.
She's got plenty of issues.
Okay.
To the point where 15 years after I met her.
How ironic that your relationship ends up being with your uncle that you also didn't know. That's ironic.
But he was lonely. He was closer than her. He's just a diehard, sweet man. He worked for a Toyota dealership for 46 years, working on their lot. He's just a blue collar, sweet guy that I developed a relationship with.
So, Mike, here's a common situation here. Is you really hanging on to? This is hard. What I'm about to say. Okay. Hanging on to a fantasy, a myth that somehow this relationship with your birth mother is going to be restored to what it should have been or what it could have been. Same with your half brother.
Not at all. Not
okay,
at all.
okay.
I am more concerned about
then the conversation ends there. The conversation ends there.
Okay.
Any more noise that you allow into your head is a choice you're making. Okay.
Okay.
You have no moral or legal obligation to give either one of them a dime.
In fact, I would suggest, based on what your uncle looked you in the eye and told you, you would be violating his wishes by.
So here's my answer if I'm you to your half brother or to your mom. And just go, this is really awkward for all of us. I love you guys and I'm really sorry we're in this situation. Here's my legal obligation. I am the executor of the estate, which means I am legally bound to execute, to follow through on the written wishes of your uncle, your brother. I don't have a choice. I have to do what that says, or I am liable for legal action. That's why they call it an executor, because an executor executes the terms of the will. That's all they do. They don't get to make up new wills. They don't get to change the deal. They just have to do what the deal says. That's the law, Mike. You don't have a choice. Now, once you have executed your uncle's wishes, which happens to be in this case that you become the owner of all of these things, if you choose to give away your stuff, then that's you choosing to give away your stuff. But if you give away your stuff to someone who is demanding it in order to create a relationship, hint, hint, there was never a relationship to start with. Relationships that are based on a financial transaction are called prostitution.
Yes.
And so if the only way your brother, half brother, is ever going to speak to you again is if you give him your money,
he's opting out.
He's checked out. Same thing with Arlene or whatever her name was. Yeah. But yeah, but that doesn't make this easier. That is just the correct thing to do. But people that function like your birth mom and your half brother they're travel agents for guilt trips. They feel entitled to other people's stuff. So if I choose to leave all of my money to one kid and the other two kids get nothing, it was my money. They are not entitled, not even legally entitled if I have a will that says they don't get it. You know, if I look at one of my three kids go, heroin addict, I am not funding your addiction, your death. You get Zippo because you have Zippo character, and I put that in the will. He's got no moral rights, no spiritual rights, no legal rights. And by the way, that would have been an act of love because your uncle looked at her and said, money is not a blessing to this lady. When she gets it, she misbehaves with it. It's a curse. So I'm not going to bother her with the curse. Sorry, Mike. It's hard to go through what you're going through. I hate it for you. But that, I would just bad guy off your uncle and go, gosh, I'm kind of handcuffed here. I'm just the executor. I don't have any legal choices. I have to do what the will says. And sorry, if you want to be mad, go out the graveyard and yell at the tombstone, because I'm not here. I can't do anything about this, but it's not going to end well.
No.
These two goobs are going to be goobs because they're goobs. This is the Ramsey Show. Look, I love real estate, and I want you to have a house, but I don't want a house to have you. That's why you need to get in touch with Churchill Mortgage to make sure you do this right. These guys are awesome. They'll help you get on a smarter mortgage plan because they're committed to doing what's right for you. That means they check in every year with free consultations to help you stay on the right plan. They show you how to save money and interest so you can build wealth faster. They walk you through the total cost of your loan so you can make the best choice. Basically, they care. That's why we call them Ramsey Trusted. You can achieve debt-free home ownership, and Churchill is here to help. Go to their site, churchillmortgage.com/Ramsey, to start your approval or get more information. How many times do you kick the can down the road? You say, one day I'll be able to buy a house. One day I'll be happy with my career. One day I won't have to battle with anxiety. One day I'll get my student loan paid off. One day I'll... Listen, you got to stop it. Whatever your one day is, you need to start so that one day becomes now. Let's get after it. This is why we created Smart Conference. We have some of the top thought leaders and speakers in the world speaking at Smart Conference. They're number one best-selling authors, world-class communicators in all kinds of different areas. Rachel Cruz will be there speaking on money. Dr. John Deloney, sitting to my right, will be there speaking on mental wellness. Ken Coleman on career. Our hottest new Ramsey personalities in the money space, George Campbell and Christina Ellis, will be there in full force. I'll be speaking. It's October 22nd in Dallas. Craig and Amy Groeschel, pastors from Life Church, will be there speaking on marriage, and man, they're great. So a little bit of everything: leadership, marriage, money, mental wellness, everything. It's an all-day long event. The VIP and Platinum is all sold out. There is a few general admission passes left for only $39, and we want you to come. We want you to be part of the program. We want you to be there with us all day on October the 22nd in Dallas on a Saturday. You would pay more than $39 to hear any one of these people speak. And you got the whole lineup all day. It's the Smart Conference. You will leave smarter. RamseySolutions.com/events. Get your event passes. RamseySolutions.com/events. Also, check out the Building Wealth series. We're going to be in about 5 or 6 different cities this fall, and there's a few of those tickets left as well. Maybe we'll be in your city. Peter is with us in Chicago. Hi, Peter. How are you?
Hi, Dave. I'm good. How about yourself?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
So, a little bit of background. For the last 3 years since the pandemic, I have been paying for my parents' mortgage and home equity. My question is, unfortunately, I think I missed the opportunity for low rates, but my question is, I still have 3 options. I can either continue paying the principal and interest, which I'm currently doing. They are covering the property taxes. That's option number 1. Continue what I'm currently doing, paying $3,000 a month with that.
Why are you paying your parents' mortgage?
Well, because they currently can't afford it. They want to stay in their house. I'm an only child, and I would do and will do anything I can to pay them back for being fantastic parents and giving me an amazing job.
To help them avoid reality? Why can't they pay their mortgage?
At the start of the pandemic, my dad had to retire, and
why?
He was in an industry that had some ageism, and he just aged. He was kind of forced to age out a little bit.
How old is he?
He is 66.
So what did he do for a living?
He is a substitute teacher right now. Before he was in another industry, he was making.
Both of my parents are in their 70s as professors, as teachers.
Mm-hmm. And that's definitely an option he could take.
Can you afford $3,000? I mean, this is different. Do you make $25,000 a month, and this is no big deal?
I should probably know a month off the top of my head, but for a year it's 110. That's right.
How old are you?
29.
And you're single, I take it.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. You live with them?
I did move back during the pandemic, which is why I was happy to help them out. To take a step back, Dave, this was not supposed to be a long-term solution. It was supposed to be temporary.
Yeah, it needs
had
to
every
be.
intention of getting a good job. He was really good in his industry. He had experience.
And they have no money.
Their combined per making around $45 a year.
Yeah. And what's the house worth?
$710.
Yeah, and what do they owe on it?
They owe $283.
Yeah, they need to sell it and buy a house for $500,000 it's paid for.
Yeah, that's a non-starter.
No, it is a starter.
It's a total starter.
It's a complete starter.
Total starter.
The non-starter is this dysfunctional crap that you're weaving that is your life. That's the non-starter. The non-starter is that a 29-year-old is taking care of these fully capable adults who need to get off their butts and take care of themselves. It is not an act of love. There is so much weirdness going on behind the scenes in this conversation, I can't breathe.
Especially some sort of return on investment, as though they were great parents, and so they're entitled to X percent of your income because they don't want to work.
Yeah.
Or they didn't save up, or they made some life choices. I'm all about helping your parents out, man. But
let's pretend that you had a job that was making $20,000 a year, and you were in an apartment, and they were in this pickle. You know what they would do? They would sell their house and buy a $500,000 house and get a job to be able to live there. That's what they would do. So it's not a non-starter. You are trying to make their fantasy world exist, and it's not sustainable.
And you are participating in the fantasy as though the fantasy that you can prop them up and keep this thing going forever. You can't.
This has such a short runway, and it's gonna hit the wall, and it's gonna disintegrate like NASCAR, and the engine's gonna fly up in the stands. I mean, this is. You got about 2 to 3 years on this before all the emotions in this mess melt down and the finances unravel. So this is not a refinance question. This is Peter, you guys have made a mistake of you were nice to come in and with an umbrella when it was raining, but an umbrella is not a structure that's sustainable in a monsoon. And so these folks need to make some decisions about their income and their housing like grown-ups. And then you need to go on and love them, be kind to them, and you can assist them occasionally. But this idea that you took them to raise is just dysfunctional, dude. That's the non-starter.
Yeah.
It's just all in your story, and it's weird. And I'm not picking on you. I'm not shaming you. I just want you to hear it loud and clear because you're nowhere near hearing it. That's why I'm smacking you so hard, because I really want to shake you a little bit and get your attention, because this is not good mental health.
It's not good relational health, but more importantly, you're intentionally sacrificing your future not to keep somebody alive, but to prop up a fantasy. There's a difference there, right? They're sitting on $500,000. Yeah. Anyway, we could talk all day.
Yeah.
Let's call it.
That's the thing. Open phones at 888-825-5225. So here's the thing. John, let's talk about this a minute, because it comes up with boundaries issues, and this is kind of a boundaries question in a sense all the time. this we call the 30s and 40s. He's a little young for it, but we call them the sandwich generation because they've got their kids to raise and put through college, and many times their parents have got issues, and they're sandwiched between both of the financial needs pulling at them. So you have to have real clear boundaries and love. And many of my brothers and sisters in Christ twist and make toxic the scripture that says to honor your father and mother. And that means that we have to do whatever. No, it doesn't. If your mom is doing cocaine, you are not honoring her by giving her money.
Right.
It's not honor. That's participation in dysfunction. That is not honoring. That is not an act of love. That is not an act of honor. That is a dysfunction. And that you can't throw a Bible scripture over it and make it okay. He didn't do that.
No.
But I hear this all the time.
That's right.
And you honor someone by loving them well, and that's helping them get into a sustainable healing situation.
And telling the truth.
That's the truth.
And not sacrificing your 60s, 70s, and 80s because of their dysfunction.
Exactly.
When you were 20 and 30.
Absolutely. This is The Ramsey Show. Chaos. That's what it can feel like when your business is growing so fast you've outgrown your financial and accounting software. The faster you grow, the more likely you are to lose control of the numbers. And here's the reality. If you don't know your numbers, you don't know your business. That's why we use NetSuite by Oracle, the #1 cloud financial system. Over 28,000 companies use NetSuite by Oracle, including Ramsey Solutions, because NetSuite gives us a single view of everything we need to make daily decisions. Whether you're making a few million to hundreds of millions a year, NetSuite gives you the visibility and control of the things you need to grow, like your financials, inventory, HR, planning, budgeting, and more, all in one dashboard. Go to netsuite.com/Ramsey right now to get their free white paper. Jumpstart your CFO career. Dr. John Deloney, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Thank you for joining us, America. We're so glad you're here in the lobby of Ramsey Solutions on the debt-free stage. Kirby and Amber are with us. Where do you guys live?
Omaha, Nebraska.
All right, cool. Now, we met yesterday.
We did.
Yes.
At the commercial break, I came out and you said tomorrow we're doing the debt-free scream. So now
today.
you're back with the Living Like No One Else t-shirts, ready to rock.
That's a brave couple that wears matching t-shirts in public.
Yes.
Yeah, that's like you're going steady or something.
Gross.
Yeah. Pretty
Congrats,
cool, guys.
guys.
How much debt did you pay off?
$124,090.
I love it. How long did this take?
31 months.
Wow. And your range of income during that time?
95 to 124,000.
Cool. What do y'all do for a living?
I'm a nurse.
Mm-hmm.
And in short, I fertilize and spray weeds.
Okay. That'll work.
Chemical applicator.
That'll work. He's trying to think about how he was going to describe
Beef
that.
it
Okay.
up.
Very cool. Good for you guys. All right. What kind of debt was the 124?
Everything.
Literally.
It was student loans, personal loans, family loans, credit cards, car loans.
My God, y'all were normal.
Yes.
Normal sucks.
Yes, it does.
No fun at all. Everything but the mortgage.
Yeah,
Yes.
we're still working on that.
Way to go, guys. Man, I'm so proud of you.
Yes.
How long you been married?
8 years.
Okay, so 2.5 years ago, so 5 years into marriage, something happens and you go, all right, this has got to change. Tell me the story. How'd you get connected to this Ramsey Way?
So in 2017, we bought our first home, and our down payment was a family loan.
Of course.
Yes, it was. So then in 2018, July 5th, 2018, we had our our main pipe in our house flood, our house. And we have 3 stories because it's a tri-level.
And it got the whole house?
Oh, yeah. I mean, it came from everywhere.
Oh, God.
And
what
so,
a mess.
So we are the poster children to not buy a house
until you have an emergency fund.
Yes. It was a $70,000 claim, and we had to pay 30 of that out of our pocket.
Yep.
So,
Why?
Because when they started taking out the walls, there was mold from the previous.
The last time it did this.
Yep.
Yeah, so obviously it flooded at some point before, and then other stuff happened in between, and so we had to take out a $20,000 personal loan and put $10,000 on a credit card, in addition to everything else that we had. So.
And the smoke clears, you have an oh crap moment.
Oh yeah.
And which parent loaned you the down payment?
It was a grandma.
Oh. Who loaned you the other one?
No,
it was a personal and credit cards.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's right, a bank and
it
credit
was a
cards.
bank. Yes.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so it was very, very stressful. During that time, I was actually getting my master's degree. I was working full time, and there was just some other stuff going on that it was the most stressful time in our lives. And I went to work one day, and I was telling one of my coworkers about what we were having to do, and she's like, "Have you ever heard of Dave Ramsey?" And so I was like, "No." So she's like, "Well, just listen to the podcast."
Does he fix flooded houses?
Can he drywall?
Yeah.
I can't.
Yeah. So I ended up listening to the podcasts, and I was listening to them for about a month, and we ended up going on vacation in November of 2019.
Which is what we always do when we're broke.
Yeah. Well, we were technically still following your plan at that time, but we decided to take some time off. But so on our way to Kansas City, I was like, "Hey, let's listen to this podcast I heard about." And he got hooked after that.
I wasn't fully on board at the beginning. So
okay.
She stuck me in the car with you and her.
Yes.
That's it. That did it right there.
Yeah.
But I got hooked right away once it all started to make sense.
And then once you got on board, the acceleration goes.
It did. Ever since I've been listening to the podcast, because I'm out in yards all by myself, so I need something to listen to pass the time.
Ah, cool.
Yeah. So it was really, thankful for, well, not really thankful for COVID, but then again, it really helped us get through.
Yeah.
Me as a nurse, I did do some extra jobs for a couple of months, but I got pretty burnt out during that time.
Yeah.
He took a job for a little bit, and but we were able to get through it.
And then you just plowed through this in 2.5 years.
Yes, we did.
What do you tell people the key to getting out of debt is?
Make a plan and stick to it.
Yes, patience and contentment. I read the book from Rachel Cruz, and it was really eye-opening.
No, that's a big one. Yeah, Love Your Life, Not Theirs?
Yes.
Taking it? Yeah. Talking about contentment book. Yeah, good.
And then during that time, we both changed jobs.
Yeah.
We were both unhappy and where we were, and so we decided, we started listening to Ken Coleman, actually, and we got his book, The Proximity Principle. I actually called into Ken Coleman's show.
Oh, wow.
Yes, and I spoke with him.
You guys are all in. You're addicted.
Yes, we are. Yes.
They're wearing the shirts, Dave.
We are.
Yeah, they're in.
Yeah, and so now we both do what we love, because I was more in finance side prior, and then I decided to go back to what I love most, and that's caring for patients.
I got sick of sitting at a desk, had to get out and stretch my legs, so the best way to do it is to go running through some lawns.
What was the biggest challenge you faced as a couple?
Not eating out as much.
I
think it was very hard. Yeah. Otherwise, we've never really had any arguments about much.
No. Once we got on the same page together, you can't do it without the other one. So.
What parts of your marriage have gotten better that you feel comfortable telling a couple million people?
All of it.
We were already, very happy at the, anyways, but it's just been it's more strong.
Yeah, I feel stronger.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I feel like we could do anything. Yeah, communication's key too.
And we have goals.
Even if we go out to the gas station, hey, I want to get like a coffee or something. Is that okay? It's like $4. All right, that's no problem.
I mean, yeah, we still
check in with each other.
Talking.
Yeah,
we just talking.
It's communication.
You create a new language. That's
Yeah.
awesome. Good for you guys.
Yeah.
Way to go, y'all. I'm so proud of you. Well done. How's it feel to be free?
Oh, it's amazing.
I haven't gotten over it yet.
Yeah. Like just coming down here, I mean, we saved up money to come down here, and we don't have a worry in the world. Like we were able to just have fun. We went to Nashville yesterday.
Yeah.
Downtown Nashville last night. And just had fun.
Yeah, it's been great.
Yeah, redneck Mardi Gras down there, man. It's unbelievable. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Cool, guys. Very cool. Very cool. So proud of y'all.
Thank you.
Excellent job, man. Absolutely incredible. Hey, we got a copy of Baby Steps Millionaires for you. That's the next chapter in your story. I want to hear from you when you break that millionaire plane. You're on your way. Also, a 1-year membership to Financial Peace University. And if you haven't been through that yet, the brand new videos are out. They have Dr. John Deloney, George Camel, Rachel Cruz, and me teaching you through all 9 lessons. It's the best 9 we've ever done in Financial Peace, so you'll enjoy it. And also the Total Money Makeover book, and probably give that away to somebody that you know that's struggling or trying to do the stuff, been inspired by you guys. You're inspiring.
Yes.
You're heroes. So proud of you. Very, very well done. Who were your biggest cheerleaders?
We had some family and friends. Most of all, I think it was kind of each other.
Yes.
We also had some naysayers, too, that were like, oh, you're never going to retire at 55. And I'm like, just watch. That's kind of the biggest thing for me. So
when anyone comes at you with finger guns like that, you know they're probably wrong.
Yeah.
They're wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's turn the other cheek.
That's true.
Yeah. I would also say the podcast. I mean, hours upon hours, and we were listening to that. I've read Dr. Deloney's books. We read Ken Coleman's. I mean, Rachel Cruz's. I mean, everything. We have just been so, You're
just all in. You're all in.
You're all in. You got to live like no one else shirts. There's no question. It's good for you guys. I'm so proud of you. We're honored to meet you. You're an amazing couple. Very, very well done. Kirby and Amber, Omaha, Nebraska. Live like no one else. $124,000 paid off in 31 months. A complete change of direction. Count it down. Let's hear a debt-free scream.
3, 2, 1.
We're debt-free!
This is how it's done right here. This is the Ramsey Show. Dr. John Deloney, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Beth is with us. She is in Orlando, Florida. Hi, Beth. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you for taking my call.
Certainly. How can we help?
Well, I made a career change this year, and I left working for the government where I was contributing to my TSP, and now I'm contributing to my company's 401k.
Mm-hmm.
I've been working with a financial planner over the last couple months, and her recommendation was I roll my TSP into my 401k. And I'm a little bit nervous about making that decision since it's a permanent decision, and I wanted to get your advice and your thoughts on it.
I always tell people, always take your retirement with you when you leave. I'm not sure why she's saying to put it into your 401k. I would not do that. Instead, I would just roll it into an individual IRA and good growth stock mutual funds. You've got a lot more control and a lot more selection there, and your financial planner should be able to facilitate that. Are they brokers? Do they do mutual fund investing?
Yes.
Okay. I'm a little
And
shocked.
her recommendation was to roll it into my 401k.
I know. I heard that. I wouldn't do that.
For the ease of keeping it all together.
Yeah. But the thing is, you're going to end up with multiple accounts in your life anyway.
Yeah.
And your 401k, I mean, it may have options that are excellent. I don't know. I just don't want, I wouldn't do that. I would roll it to an IRA with her and pick some good mutual funds. And we always tell people to spread their retirement across 4 types: growth and income, aggressive, growth, and international. That's what I have done. And personally, and that's what I recommend that people do for 30 years. And I always take it with me. Just because you've got more options when it's out there on your own, you don't have to deal with your company's HR department to get to your 401k. You don't have to deal with the administrator. You just go straight. It's just your account. You have your own account. And, you've got more access, more flexibility, more choices, everything. And, that's what I would do with it. And if you're happy with your financial planner, other than her disagreement with me on this issue, I don't see any reason. But yeah, I always take it with me. And by the way, that will also outperform the TSP. The C plan is a strong, it's basically an index fund in the TSP. The S and the I, we recommend putting 10% in each and 80% in the C. But that doesn't keep up with mutual funds. That's going to be less than the rate of return on a good mutual fund or a series of good mutual funds. So always take it with you, and always take your 401k with you and do the same thing when you leave. But it's a direct transfer rollover. There are no taxes. If you had a traditional TSP, you roll it to a traditional. If you had a Roth, you roll it to a Roth. And there should be no taxes, and the money's transferred directly from your old work to the new IRA with your financial planner. That's what I would do with it. Samantha's with us in Tampa, Florida. Hi, Samantha. How are you?
Hi, Dave. Thanks for taking my call.
Sure. What's up?
I'm an avid listener, but very Dave-ish, so go easy on me. My husband is active duty Air Force. He's a pilot in the Air Force, and his commitment is up in 2 years in this September. We just moved to the Tampa area, and we are under contract with a house with a new construction. I am very concerned because I feel like we're out of order of the baby steps. We do not have an emergency fund. The house has been delayed from July to August, now end of September. The interest rates have gone up, and I'm afraid. I don't know if we should try to back out of the contract and lose our $15,000 earnest money, or just go through with it and just work extremely hard, and hopefully Murphy doesn't move in.
Well, you've invited him in.
I know. I'm a registered nurse, but I'm not, we just moved here. I'm not working right now. We have 4 small kids. Our oldest is 8.
Yeah. So the psalmist says, the blessings of the Lord have no sorrow added to them. When I am doing something that has sorrow added to it, I have to assume it's not from God.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that's me as a Christian, and that's the way I look at stuff. And if I'm buying something that makes me cry, then that's something I shouldn't be buying, in other words.
It's just stressful, and I didn't, like, the base had an 18-month wait list, and I guess we were just, I don't know, afraid houses
you got house fever.
Going up in price.
You got house fever. That's what happened. You got this, and you got to buy a house. And then you went and bought a house, and then you looked down and went, oh, crap. And you have you woke up and have a hangover. Buyer's remorse, we call it.
How long has your husband been in?
10 years.
How long have you all been married?
About 10 years.
You're tired, aren't you?
I'm just, like I said, I'm just tired of not
4 little kids.
the baby steps.
4 little kids. You're a military wife, and you're tired.
The way you said 2 years, September, like you know the date, right? You know it.
Yeah.
You're ready.
Yeah.
Buying this house, I don't understand the legalities like you do, Dave, but buying this house is not going to get you the security that you want it to give you for the next 2 years. It's going to be a curse. It's going to be a mess.
Yeah. So what I would do is, did you do a bunch of customization to it?
No, it was just buy as is.
Okay. So it's, have other houses in the neighborhood sold?
Yes, and it appraised like $50,000 over than what we signed for it.
So maybe they would like to let you go and give you your money back.
Mm-hmm.
Why don't you talk to them?
Okay.
Say, you can make $50,000 more on this house and give me my money back. Or I can close on it and resell it, and I'll make the $50,000. But I'm willing to let you have it to just not close on it if you give me my money back.
Okay.
What do you want to bet they do that? I got 50,000 reasons they might do that.
Yeah.
That makes sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. But now you're feeling guilty about doing that.
Yeah.
Yes, you are. I heard it. I was just as clear. It came over the radio.
Where's the guilt coming from? What are you worried about?
Well, because everybody's excited about the house but her. The kids are
I'm
excited,
but I'm scared.
You know,
yeah,
you should be.
everybody's-
You should be. What's
Yeah.
what is the house payment going to be?
Like $3,200 a month.
And what is your take-home pay?
My husband about $8,800 a month.
Yeah, this is too much house,
Yeah.
and you know it. And you're just standing up and saying, you know, there's the little kid part of me on the cereal aisle that's throwing a fit and wants Fruit Loops.
Oh, I love Fruit Loops.
Me too.
Oh, man.
Bought a house. John, this is not about you. And bought a house, and now the grown-up Samantha's having to deal with that kid's decisions.
I make a lot of kid decisions.
But you're having to deal with them
With
now.
money.
The grown-up
Yeah.
mom of 4 now has to look at this and go, oh, crap, this doesn't feel right. And Samantha, you know why it doesn't feel right? It's because it's not right.
Yeah.
A $3,200 house payment on an $8,000 income is not a blessing. You can feel it in your gut. You and your husband go over, sit down, talk to the builder in person, and say, we can close, we will close and keep our word. But if you would like to refund us our deposit, we'll let you go make the extra $50,000 that this house is appraised for. Because we really don't want it. It's too much house, and we're scared. And talk him into letting you out of the deal and giving you your money back. I'll bet you they do. This is The Ramsey Show.
Hey, it's John Deloney, co-host of The Ramsey Show. Did you know over 18 million people listen to The Ramsey Show every week? A lot of those people listen on one of our 600-plus radio stations across the country. To find a station near you, go to RamseySolutions.com/show.
Of Ramsey Solutions, it's the Ramsey Show, where Dad is Dom, cash is king, and the paid-off home mortgage has taken the place of the BMW as the status symbol of choice. We help people build wealth, do work that they love, and create actual, amazing relationships. Dr. John Deloney, Ramsey personality, host of the Dr. John Deloney Show, and #1 best-selling author of the book Own Your Past, Change Your Future, is my co-host today. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Michelle is in Evansville, Indiana. Hi, Michelle. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hi, Dave. I'm glad I got through to you today. Long-time listener.
Well,
I have a little complex situation. My parents filed bankruptcy back my latter teen years, so mid-'80s. there were some property that was given to us or by that dollar transaction from an aunt, totaling about probably 40 or so acres, with a separate section cut out to build a home on after they filed bankruptcy. That was about a house built in 5 acres. Long story short, my parents couldn't take out a loan, so she was of 18 years old. So they took the loan out in my sister's name and deeded the ground and the home, 2 separate deeds, in my sister Mai's name. She's since married, and her and her husband now are on the deed along with myself. My question is this: we do not get along. My father has passed. My mother had a lifetime estate to this property for as long as she lived. She could live there. However, my sister was her caregiver, and there has been some discord that my sister was basically maltreating my mother, and so my mother has relinquished her rights to this property. So I have never been interested in this property. It is not my homestead. My sister lives adjoining property that my father and mother gave her and her husband for a wedding present. So
Where do you
I have
live?
mentioned, I live in Evansville, Indiana, so I am in different states.
Where's the house? Where's the property?
Illinois, southern, very tip.
So crazy is in a pile in Illinois, and you're not in the pile of crazy.
I am not in the pile of crazy, never wanted pile of crazy, have asked to be purchased, have bought out, things like that, until this recent transaction with my mom decided I want out of this. I'm moving up north with my other family, nieces and nephews, and I said to my sister then, once she had mom sign off the deed, I want out. I want you guys to buy me out. And she said, just sell it. Well, it's hard to sell a home and for 5 acres, half of it to someone without her authority and her agreeing, I guess.
Well, you have 2 choices, okay?
Mm-hmm.
You don't have anything in this.
I do not.
You can deed it to her and walk away from crazy.
Okay.
That's probably what I would do.
Okay.
Life's too short.
It is.
This is a screwed up pile of mess.
It is.
And
And
these
here's the
people
thing,
have done everything they can to duck reality for decades and twist and turn, and the whole thing's a pretzel. And now the other option is, technically, legally, you are partners. And you could file a lawsuit in Chancery Court for the disillusionment of the partnership, which would force the sale of the real estate.
Okay.
And you would get your half.
Okay.
What would you guess your half is worth?
Well, in that area right now, it's going for roughly $6,000 an acre, plus there's standing timber that my dad
What do you think the
would not allow
property is
anyone to
worth?
cut. Between that and the house and the other acreage, probably around $150 to $200.
Your half?
My half.
75 to 100.
No, probably closer to $150 to $200.
Your half is worth 150 to 2. Okay.
Correct.
Okay.
Because there's a house and 5 acres, and there's additional like 20 to 40 acres with timber. So.
Just how much trouble you want to go to get that? Because it's probably going to cost you $30,000 in legal fees.
Okay.
And you will win, and you will lose.
Okay. Right. No, there is no winning when it comes to family.
Yeah.
So,
The only ones that win these things are the lawyers. But you will. I would guess if you have a decent attorney that you will. That the judge will hear you and say this thing has to be liquidated because, or he'll look at your sister and say buy her out, one of the two, and your sister will go, okay, I'll do that, or no, or whatever. But you cannot sell a 1/2 undivided interest. It has no value because nobody else wants to be partners with these crazy people either.
No, I don't. No, I don't.
I would give you $10,000 to not make me a partner.
Exactly. Well, I would love to turn around and walk away. I was married for 22 years and actually walked away from about $350,000 in assets and gave that to the ex-husband.
Well, the other thing that could happen, I guess, is you could file the lawsuit or have the attorney let her know, put her on notice that you're filing the suit. You're not suing her. You're asking for the judge to make a declaration.
Dissolution.
She hasn't done anything wrong. You're just asking for the judge to declare that this partnership needs to be dissolved. Because I'm positive there are no partnership documents.
No.
No, of course
absolutely
not.
None.
Of course not.
I was probably 15 or 16 when this all took place 40 plus years ago. So,
And
as a minor, I knew nothing. So.
And they did this with your sister's permission, or they stole her identity?
No, actually, the sister was of age, and she wanted them to be able to build a home. So she went out and took this loan out and had me as a co-signer on it as a 15-year-old.
Oh, well, that's not legal either.
No, it's not. There's a lot of
15-year-old co-signer. You can't even buy cigarettes.
No,
I know it. When you're 15 and you live in the
but
10
you can get a mortgage in Illinois.
Exactly.
Not really.
Exactly.
No beer or cigarettes, but I'll give you a house.
Yeah, John, I mean, is there you see anything from the family standpoint? I don't think there's anything heals this mess.
No, nothing. Can you afford to walk away?
I can. I know that the sad thing is I know it's not my parents' wishes, but yes, I can. And I am a walk-away person.
So your parents, they created a mess, and it's you're not your obligation to fix the mess to create a picture that's going to satisfy something that they. You see what I'm saying?
Correct.
You're going to be putting together puzzle pieces on a puzzle, and the picture keeps shifting on you.
If you have the energy, I might, spiritually, it's okay to just say, I'm going to rise above this, toss them the keys, okay? There's something freeing about just doing that and noble about doing that. From just a legal strategy standpoint, you could just file the thing without going to a huge amount of expense if you want to drop, I don't know, $5,000 retainer with a good lawyer and see if that doesn't bring her to the table.
Okay.
Because when she discovers what this is actually going to do, it's going to force the sale of the real estate that is next door to her. She may come up and go, okay, if you'll make me a deal, I'll buy you out. And I would sell it to her for 50% of what it's worth.
Yeah.
But that way you get $75,000 out of it or something instead of nothing.
Yeah.
Sorry,
if you want to put a bluff on the table, that's the way to put it. But I honestly would not play it all the way through and force the auction and the drama of the auctioneer.
If you win, everybody loses.
Yeah, there's no winning this deal. I wouldn't go through all that, but I might make her think I'm going to.
I'm in for that.
See if she could come to the table. Let's see if we can give her a little redneck wake-up call. This is the Ramsey Show. August, get this, John. August is National Make-A-Will Month because August just didn't have much to do.
What else are we going to do?
Yeah, it's actually a thing. I make fun of it if you want. I believe in having a will, but a Make-A-Will Month, yeah, okay, all right, well, whatever. It gives me an excuse to talk about you need a will.
I think here's what it is. It's the end of the summer, and parents are thinking,
I'm going to kill my children.
Or I'm going to kill somebody.
If the kids don't go back to school, I'm going to kill one of them.
So let's make a will. That's right.
That makes you think about death, yes. Listen, you do need to get your will done. Estate planning covers all the documents, all the plans, all the conversations. And actually, I'm doing the Ramsey Estate Plan annual meeting next week. I call it the Monty Python meeting where we discuss Dave's death.
I'm not dead yet.
I'm really not dead yet. I'm feeling much better. It's just a flesh wound. But yeah, it's and so it's a weird meeting where we sit and talk about my death with me there. And so
I wish you would video that.
Dave dies this year. What are we going to do with this? What are we going to do with that? And so forth.
Hey, Dave,
and
if you live stream that, it could be our most successful live stream.
We could live stream it.
Rachel's going to have all the pictures of all the Teslas she's going to buy.
Truthfully, as exciting as it sounds, it's not. But you do it because it's called diligence. And you don't have to be an eccentric millionaire or some crazy guy like me with or have to have some kind of offshore account. I don't have any offshore accounts to have an estate plan. You need an estate plan. Everyone needs a will if you're 18 years old. Go to RamseySolutions.com/estate guide and get our free estate planning guide. It will allow you to ask all the hard questions, and then you can have all the nervous laughter and funny jokes like we do around it. But still, you got to deal with the issue. Don't die without a will. Don't die without an estate plan. Don't die without life insurance. Your family is counting on you to instruct what your will is, what you desire. That's your will. What your will is, what you desire upon your death. Your last desire, your last will and testament, and you testify to your desires. That's what a last will and testament is. And there's nothing spooky about it. And no, you're not more likely to die if you get a will. You're going to die. It's just a matter of when. Nobody gets out of this alive. Jesus and Elijah. That's it. Nobody else gets. Everybody else has to die. So
CrossFitters will hang in there a little bit longer than most, though.
Yeah, they'll hang in there longer, but they're not going to make it either.
They're going to die too.
Ultimately, that exercise will kill you.
That's right.
But we got CrossFitters in the lobby, so John's poking at them. That's just for the case you didn't know. But anyway, RamseySolutions.com/estate guide. It is a free estate planning guide. Jump over there and get her. Get her done. Get her done. Stephen's with us in Twin Falls, Idaho. Hi, Stephen. How are you?
Hey, good, Dave. How are you and John doing?
Better than we deserve. What's up?
Awesome. Funny thought, if CrossFit kills you in the end, we might as well just eat cookies and Reese's, huh?
Thank you. I've been saying that.
This is John's theory.
That's all I'm
and
thinking
gummy
right
bears.
now.
Exactly. Thank you.
John is a gummy bear addict.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is
All right.
John, and I like gummy
I have
bears.
a problem. What's up, man?
Right on. Well, yeah, I got a quick question about a pay structure that my boss is proposing to me. It's a little bit different. I've never heard of it, and wanted your guys' opinion on if it sounds normal and if you think it'd be a good deal or not. He's looking to make me the CEO of the company, so I would get a base salary, which is a livable wage in Idaho, would be the base salary, plus a bonus off the profit at the end of the year. The issue I'm having is the bonus. He's proposing to pay out the bonus in 3 equal payments over 3 years. If that makes sense, or do I need to kind of explain that?
No, I understand it.
Yeah.
Why the delay if the company is profitable? Why can't he pay you?
Because he wants to keep me long term. And the other caveat to it is if I ever leave the company, I forfeit any unpaid bonuses.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I have, this is a small business. How many $1 million gross reps?
Well, it's our first year open. We haven't hit $1 million yet. We're at about $500K right now.
Yeah.
But
What do you
we're looking
do?
to
What
grow
kind
to
of
$1 million
business?
probably in the first year.
What kind of business?
It's it's pet waste removal.
Okay, and
So
your living wage will be how much?
Starting at 65 a year.
And what do you think and how many employees are there? 3, 5?
We got 5.
Yeah. Okay. And you think your profit is going to be 100?
This year it is.
Yeah. And so you get $30,000 a year over 3 years.
Yeah. Essentially.
Yeah. Okay. We coach small businesses under the Entree Leadership umbrella. We'll have 700 of them here in Nashville next month, and I'll be teaching them for 3 days on running the business and on hiring and firing and comp structures and a lot of things. And I'll be teaching them and a lot of our other leaders will be involved in the teaching based on what we've learned over the 30 years of running this business. It started as a card table in my living room and now has 1,200 team members, and we'll do about $300 million top line. So we've made a lot of mistakes over the years. What I hear your boss trying to do is give you great value. He wants to honor you and give you value. I've been in that situation where I have a good team member and I want them to know I love them. I want them to stay. But he's trying to create a thing where money is the only thing that keeps you around. And if I were coaching him, I would say he doesn't want that. You don't want someone that is just staying because of money. It's called golden handcuffs. And when someone stays just for the money, that means their spirit left the building and their body's still there collecting a check. He doesn't want that. What he's trying to do is a good thing, and I've tried to do wacky comp things as well, but they don't work. When it's time for someone to leave, it's time for them to leave. And you cry if you love them, and it breaks your heart. And if you, it's happened to me. I've shed tears this month over folks leaving our company that have been with us a decade or for 20 years or for whatever. But I'm really glad I'm not holding them artificially against their will just so they get a check. You see how that's not good for him? Follow me?
Yeah,
So,
I mean, I can see it. Because
what I would propose to him is instead that once a quarter he gives you a percentage of the profits as a bonus. Once a quarter.
Yeah.
We figure out what we made this quarter, we add it up, and he gives you. That's what I would tell him. I would tell him to build his comp structure. It's a much more open hand. And you might leave someday, but you won't leave your body there and take your spirit and go somewhere else. You'll take your body and leave. And you won't be collecting checks from him anymore. And he'll have that open payroll to do something else with at that point. This is a small startup business. He's scratching and clawing. And, you know, if I were in your shoes, I would just say, and I'm willing for the first 2 years or 3 years to take less percentage of profit. And, you know, we'll escalate it up to a greater percentage later. Like year 1, I make this percentage. Year 2, I make this percentage. Year 3, I make this percentage. And we pay it out quarterly. But I want less money. But I don't want you to think that you're going to hold me here with money, because no money won't keep me here. Good people and opportunity, work that matters, a quality organization, a leader with integrity. These are the things that will keep me here. Until God tells me to go somewhere else, and then I'll go somewhere else. And that might happen someday. So I don't try to artificially hold people with money. Doesn't work. If you do hold them against their will with money, you'll wish you didn't. This is The Ramsey Show. Dr. John Deloney, Ramsey personality, #1 best-selling author, host of the Dr. John Deloney Show, is my co-host today as we answer your questions about your life and your money in the lobby of Ramsey Solutions on the debt-free stage in person. Eric and Reba are with us. Hey, guys, how are you?
Hey, doing great.
Welcome. Where are you all from?
Syracuse, New York area.
Oh, cool. Welcome to Nashville.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And how much debt did you pay off?
We paid off $186,000 in 43 months.
Oh, yeah. Way to go. And your range of income during that time?
Oh, started around 75 and finished around 180.
Cool. Nice jump. So what do you guys do for a living?
I'm a risk control consultant for an insurance company.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a mechanical design engineer for an automation company.
Okay. So how did your income almost triple?
Well, when we started the plan, it was right after I had a contract that with a previous employer that had ended. So it was just her income.
Oh.
And shortly after that, I got my next full-time job after the contract work, and we were on from there. And
go to work, Eric.
Exactly.
Come on, Eric.
Get a job. Exactly.
Welcome. Good, guys. What kind of debt was the $186,000?
A little bit of everything. The biggest was student loans. We had medical bills, car loan, credit card,
So pretty normal.
Very cool. How long y'all been married?
5 years.
Okay, so it wasn't long after marriage, 43 months ago. Someone walked in and said something's got to change. What happened?
So we were down in North Carolina, and then we decided to move back to New York to be closer to family. And probably 6 months after that is when my contract had ended, and a month before that we had put an offer in and basically bought a house. And then my contract ended, between signing the papers and closing and moving into that. So
and we were blowing through our equity.
Yes, we made decent money on our house in the Charlotte area when we moved, and looked at that point, and that wasn't really there anymore, and we didn't really know where it went. So we had to change some stuff. And
how'd you get connected to the Ramsey Way?
So I'm a risk control consultant, like I said, so I drive a lot for work, and music sometimes gets boring, so I hit scan, and I honestly think I was looking for like Rush or something like that, just talk radio, and came across you one day. I don't know what stuck, but...
Well, we're no Rush, but there you go.
I don't know what stuck, but I was at a point, because the bulk of the student loans was mine, and we weren't together financially outside of paying bills and paying for our rent at the time. So I was stuck with my huge student loan on top of sharing the other financial side of things. So I think I was just like, hey, I can't do this by myself. So I don't know. We had a few hard conversations.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And that kind of kick-started things. I had surgery, so we got a big bill for that, and a lot of scary things, kind of.
Yeah, it was
the house deal messed up the contract ends, and
we were okay with that, and that's now our only debt. So we're gonna be working on that here pretty soon. I'm excited to get into that stuff. But it was a long 43 months with a lot of different stuff happening. We had found out we were pregnant shortly after I got my job, and found out we were pregnant shortly after that. And then a few weeks after that, we got a fetal diagnosis with that, and had a lot of, I guess, not really a lot of decisions to make, and we're really looking for control of the situation, and we didn't have that control, and I think that was another driving factor to get into the plan, is to be able to have control of our finances if we couldn't control some of the other stuff that was happening in our life. So had that, and we had another baby 2 years after that, and right in between those two, we totaled our car that we had paid off like 3 months before that.
So this has really not been a fun journey.
It's been a journey for sure. Up and down for
heads
sure.
Are falling off.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just happening.
Yeah. So
So how do you guys stay together during all that? Because every one of those things you just mentioned, I've sit with people whose relationship has ended, they've gone sideways and things, and y'all chose to stay on a path together towards a new picture somewhere.
Yeah, and I kind of saw the little exchange there. I mean, maybe if you're listening on the radio, you didn't see it, but there was a moment where you almost killed each other.
There's a couple of those.
It was hard for sure. I mean, I've told people, if we hadn't followed this plan, I don't think, maybe we'd still be together today, but not in the condition that we're in, certainly. Yeah. Because it gave us a common goal. It gave us something to work towards. It gave us something to think about other than the situation. And we had carried that baby, all the way as long as we could. So with that came the medical bills and everything on top of it. But we weren't stressed about it because we had better control of everything.
Yeah, not about the finances at least. So it was. I think part of it was when we started the plan, and like she said, a lot of the student loan debt was hers, and it was I refusing to believe it was ours, and that was a big step, and kind of had to get that out of my system of I didn't sign up for that student debt, but I don't want to take a step back in lifestyle or sacrifice for that, so I just kind of had to get over that, and find some maturity there and get into that. So
our little Eric grew up.
Exactly.
He's gonna be an all the way husband.
Slow and steady.
So what's something you're excited about? Like, this has been a hellacious journey, let's be honest. It's been tough.
But the future's got to be bright.
Now, you've made it through this tunnel, man, full of alligators and snakes and all kinds of things. What are you going to do? What's something great that's on the horizon now?
I'm going to shop.
Yes.
Straight up. Straight up. I'm going shopping.
Yeah. She was is a emotional spender, too, so it's been a tug of war for sure on some of that stuff. And, it hasn't always been easy at all, and we've fallen off, and done what we can to get back on and keep pushing through.
What are you gonna do, man?
I think I'm gonna start buying car parts again. I've got a '69 Chevelle that I haven't bought any parts for a while. It's just put gas in it, which is another story right now. But get that thing going and maybe
beast.
Find some.
So just when you go back and watch this again, which you will, you're that guy. When you go back and watch this, your whole cadence picked up. You smiled a little bit more. You started bouncing on your feet. Get some car parts, would you? Put it in your budget and get some car parts. I can feel it coming out of you, man.
It's set it to the side, and we're gonna get back into it for sure.
I love it, man.
I think he's an emotional spender.
I know he is.
Might have me there.
But it's for an investment, Dave. So it's different.
It's good. It's a 60. What did you say?
69. Yep.
69. Oh God, that's a wonderful car.
Yes.
Oh man. Congratulations, y'all.
Thank you.
Proud of you. You have come through so much, and it has reformed you.
Yeah.
Transformed you.
For sure.
And you have transformed to get through it as well.
Yep.
So you're in a completely different place that you never would have been in had you not gone through the hard parts of this journey and gone through the journey overall.
Yep.
It's impressive just sitting here talking to you. We can see the body language shift. We can see you guys. We can feel it off of you how much hustle, grind, and how much struggle it's been.
Yeah.
And there's been a lot of grief that went with it and everything else. And it's good to have all that in the rearview mirror.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
As far as it can be anyway. And at least the money piece.
Yeah.
And got rid of that stupid student loan.
Yes,
There
we
you
did.
go.
Absolutely.
And, kept the girl. Got rid of the student loan. So that's the good choice.
Yep.
Oh, I love grown-up Eric.
Yeah,
Good
me too. Me
Good
too.
choice. Well done, y'all. Hey, let's bring the kiddos in. What are their names and ages? And we've got a copy of Baby Steps Millionaires for you. That's the next chapter in your story.
This is Della. She's going to be 6 soon, but she's 5 right now. This is Maverick, and he just turned 1 a few days ago.
Go Maverick. All right. And we got a 1-year membership to Financial Peace University. Count it down, guys.
All right.
$186,000 paid off in 43 months. Let's hear a debt-free scream.
3, 2, 1.
We're debt-free!
Cute kids. Wow, that's fun. Man, journeys are tough, but they're worth it. This is the Ramsey Show. Our scripture of the day, James 1:12. Blessed is the one who perseveres under trial, because having stood the test, that person will receive the crown of life that the Lord has promised to those who love him. Viktor Frankl said, but there was no need to be ashamed of tears, for tears bore witness that a man had the greatest of courage, the courage to suffer. Open phones this hour. Dr. John Deloney, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host. Brendan is in Madrid, Spain, no less. Hi, Brendan. How are you?
I'm doing well. It's an honor to talk with you and John.
You too, sir. How can we help?
So life's moving a million miles a minute for me recently. I just got married a few months ago. We bought a house. And then as you pointed out, we're currently on what I would call an extended honeymoon. And that's given us, a chance to kind of slow down. We were going through financial peace together. We're flying through the baby steps. Like I said, we just purchased that house, and it meets all the rules of the baby steps. But our goal right now is to pay that off in 5 years. So at a 5-year amortization, that would be about $7,500 a month. But my income is really inconsistent because I'm self-employed. So my question to you is, how can we enjoy the hard work that we're, putting into our work right now, but still be intentional, but still set those lofty long-term financial goals for ourselves?
What does enjoy mean?
Well, honestly, right now with the new house, there's a lot that comes with that. I guess a couch comes to mind. Again, we're both pretty young, so we kind of have nothing. Lawnmower, we'll need a second car, that kind of stuff. And we're trying to figure out how much can we spend on these. Yes, we could go spend X, Y, and Z, but we're really focused on this 5-year goal, and we don't know, okay, should we put more money towards that above our existing lofty goal, or is it okay to go get a nicer car? I know you say it's changed from gazelle intensity to intentional, so we're having trouble walking that line.
Not buying a couch and sitting on the floor would be gazelle intense. That is not intentional.
Yes.
Not buying a second car that is a reasonable used car that you pay cash for would be intense, not intentional. You need to be intentional and do those things within reason. That is baby steps 4, 5, and 6. Baby steps 1, 2, 3, which you talked about, are different. That's intense. You don't go on vacation in Madrid, Spain there. But you do go on vacation in Madrid, Spain for an extended honeymoon when you're on 4, 5, and 6 as a part of your overall deal. What is your income going to be next year, this year?
This year, since I'm focusing on it full time, it'll probably be just over $300,000.
What do you think it'll be the following year?
Well, last year it was 200, so I guess if this growth, it would be a little over 400, hopefully.
Okay. What do you do? What kind of a business?
It was actually just a side hustle I started in college a few years ago, but basically I review bank accounts, budgeting apps, and just help people find, the best financial tools.
Okay. All right. Good for you. That's wonderful. Okay. I hope you make 400. So what I would do is set your household budget, not counting couches and cars and extra payments on the mortgage, just your household budget to pay the minimum payment and live. What does that take? And I'll just make up a number for right now, okay? And have a reasonable life and go out to eat occasionally and, have a reasonable vacation every so often. And so let's just make up a number. Let's call that 100, okay? And so every month you've got the bills paid for 100. And you pretty much are going to make that money every single month, even if you have a down month. Agreed?
Agreed.
Okay. And then what I would do is say, beyond that, I'm just going to make a list of where the money's going to go in order of priority. So everything above 100 I make this month is going to go to the list. And the list is a list of prioritized spending on and saving on other things. Okay? So, part of the list is you need to be putting your 15% aside for retirement, and that part of your list is increased giving as your income increases. And those need to be near the top, if not the top 2, above your living. Okay?
Yes, sir.
Then you would put the couch on the list, and you would put the car on the list. And then you would say everything above that, I'm going to throw at the mortgage. And so if you had a $35,000 month, you set aside $8,300 for your $100,000 budget, and you walk down the list with the rest of that $35,000 minus $8,300. You follow me?
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
And so that month you might put $15,000 on the mortgage. Another month you might make $12,000, and you don't get 2 extra on the mortgage, because the stuff at the top of the list eats it up, the surplus above 100 before then. Just run you a little formula like that with a prioritized plan and go down the prioritized list on everything over basic living expenses and call that 100. It may be 100, it might be 80 when you look at it, it might be 110. I don't care, but it's not 200 and it's not 40.
Yeah.
All right, and here's the second thing I want you to talk about your marriage, okay? When you say the word enjoy, that's a feeling. And one of the things that run into newlyweds is they expect this thing to feel a certain way now that they're married. Okay? I expected to feel just madly, wildly in love all the time. Sometimes you just got to, sometimes your stomach hurts, man, and you got gas. Sometimes you just got to mow the yard. Sometimes someone's got to do the dishes, right? So I don't want you to default to this word enjoyment because that's going to be a target that moves on you. I want you and your wife to sit down together probably once a month for the first year. Let's do it for the first year, right? Where are we? What needs do we have for this month? Let's check in with one another and truly listen to one another. And what we're doing is we're practicing a new communication style as we move forward. Most young couples imagine their life moving forward and their spouse is just going to move into their life. And she's imagining the same thing too. And then the energy expenditure is you dragging each other back and forth between, I thought she was going to sit down and watch football with me. I thought he was going to always want to help make dinner and whatever with me, whatever the things are, right? So once a month, check in with one another and let's balance as we go.
I thought I was going to pay $7,500 a month on the mortgage, and this chick wants a couch.
Ridiculous. Hey, you married terrible. She should have been able to sit.
I think we can both agree on that.
I'm kidding with you, but you
buy a couch for crying out loud.
But the point is, the kind of that check-in goes with building this list,
right?
Because as you lay those things out, you are defining what you want your money to do together.
Yes.
And now we're not trying to make the money do something it's not designed to do. It's not going to give you joy. The joy will be there, and it will give you traction towards some of your goals, and there's a sense of fulfillment in that. But that's different than joy.
Right. I feel like when paying your house off, the joy is
the joy of buying a used car is about 10 minutes long.
Right. Yes. But the joy of not having any payments, right? Being free.
Yeah.
That's underneath the money part.
Yeah,
right?
And he's driving at that to get the mortgage paid off, and we're both agreed on that. We're both heading that way. So it's a fun thing. It's a great exercise. So Sharon and I, after 40 years, one of the reasons we have an outstanding marriage is we spend almost as much time planning our time nowadays as we do our money. And we don't make any big decisions without the other one involved in either.
Yeah.
She doesn't come in and go, I'm going to be gone a week.
Right.
And I don't do that to her either, right? Yeah. So our calendar, and we sit down and do calendars. So she keeps one of those old calendars from Walgreens.
Yep.
The
Sheila's got a she's still
month at a
hers.
glance.
Yep.
Month at a glance. It's a 75-year-old product. And they still make it.
Of all the weightlifting I do, Dave, all the
mine's
workouts,
on the computer, by God, because I'm a high-tech dude. I'm just saying.
The most romantic thing I offer my wife is 45 minutes of calendar time each week.
There you go.
No more exercising for me.
You're a regular Romeo.
I'm Romeo. That's right.
I'm just saying. That puts this hour of the Ramsey Show in the books. Thanks, John and James and Drew and Zach and Will and Austin in the booth. I am Dave Ramsey, your host. We'll be back with you before you know it. In the meantime, remember, there's ultimately only one way to financial peace, and that's to walk daily with the Prince of Peace, Christ Jesus. Dave here. You can find all of our shows with the Ramsey Network app on your smartphone. It's the only place to listen to the entire back catalog of episodes. Download the Ramsey Network app in your favorite app store today.